Hey everyone! I wanted to hop on here and make a quick video and talk a little bit about passing nurse practitioner boards. My name is Rachel Berry. I just recently took the AANP boards for family nurse practitioner. So I can't speak to the other test, but I can speak to the AANP. And I've seen different videos out there, so I know this isn't the first one like this, but I wanted to make a shorter one just with some bullet points. So I'm going to pull up my notes. Otherwise, I can be scatterbrained. But the biggest point of this video is just to encourage you. Because let's be real, studying for boards is nerve-wracking. It can be hard. If you're studying with anything like me and you're graduating, coming out of MP school, you're already a little bit brain dead, and then it's the excitement of that is kind of muted by the fact that now you have to study all over again for MP boards, or at least it was for me. And so, one, I want to encourage you that if you put in the time, you can do this. I passed it on my first try, which was a blessing in and of itself. And two, some courses that I took, there are a bunch of different ones out there, but the two that I really found helpful were the Leik course, the Apea, and then Latrina Walden's course. And so something that I would have done differently in retrospect, because Latrina is very much the bullet point, like after you've completed all of your studying, then you do Latrina because it kind of shores up everything that you've already studied. Well, I started with Latrina, which I shouldn't have done, and I realized very quickly that I should not start with her, and so I went to the Apea, purchased the Leik course and her lectures, and what I did was I downloaded all of the PDFs and printed them out so that I could, because I love my hard copy paper. And so I would highlight and I would underline things and take notes. And I listened to all of those lectures only once. I know some people say they listen to them twice, and that's great. My primary way of learning is not auditory, and so while I gathered a lot from the auditory part, what really helped me as a kinesthetic learner was being able to actually underline things and write things down. And so that was really helpful. And then I went back to the Latrina course, and I went through her all of her sections in the bronze crash course. And I just purchased the lectures. I didn't purchase any of the PowerPoints or anything else. And that was really helpful because it helped to kind of shore up and get everything down to more of a bullet point version. The Leik version is helpful, the Apea, because you can get more of context for all of these different diseases and diagnoses. And it's very helpful, but sometimes I found it difficult because while the Leik course is training you for all of that, there have been some practice guidelines that have changed. And so some of them aren't going to be on the test, but they still wanted you to be prepared for practice, and so they would go over them. Sometimes I found that a little bit confusing because while I was thankful for that and it'll help me in future practice as a nurse practitioner, it was also hard to know, okay, but what's going to be on the test? What do I need to focus in on? And so, and they're very clear in their course of what's going to be on the test, a newer practice guideline, and what's a brand new practice guideline that won't be on the test. But still, I felt like I was in such information overload that the Latrina course alongside the Apea course really helped me to kind of hone in and really know what to focus in on. And no, there's no way to cover absolutely everything under the sun that's going to be on the test. There were still things that were kind of out of left field, but it was not very often. And through doing both of those courses, I studied for about 2 months. I found that my board's test was not incredibly difficult. It wasn't always easy, but it wasn't incredibly difficult. I also did, I'm trying to remember the name of it. The website is Exam Prep Course, but it's another book, which I can link below. I purchased the book and was told to basically just purchase it for the online stuff. I did not really crack open the book except for the pulmonary section. But I did all of the practice questions, which was very helpful. I've seen different things about whether to do a comprehensive predictor exam or whether to not do that. I would say, looking back, because APA offers a predictor test of predicting kind of how you'll do on the exam. I did not score incredibly well on that. I think I was in the yellow range. There's green, yellow, red. But I still passed it the first time. It definitely knocked my confidence down when I saw that I was in the yellow range. But I will say, so in that regard, I would agree. If you're really struggling with confidence, I don't know if I would take a predictive exam. However, it was also really helpful for me because I knew some of my weak spots going into it and touched up on those areas. But then looking at the results of that predictive, I can't say that word, exam, I was able to look at the areas where I was weakest again and say, okay, let me go back over that. Let me quiz myself. Let me do some more practice questions from the exam prep online. And I did that, and that was really helpful for me because I felt it rebuilt my confidence, where I felt like I was much more ready to take the exam. So those are the strategies that I did, and already this video is longer than I want it to be. But I just wanted to encourage you with that, and then say you can do this. Do the practice test as the comprehensive predictor exam at your own discretion. Can be helpful, might not be helpful, up to you. But if you're really struggling with confidence, which I was towards the end of, there's so much content. I don't know about you, but I felt like in some ways studying for this was even harder than studying for the NCLEX because there's so much more content, and it's a deeper level that you're needing to learn things for the exam. But it was so helpful to solidify things and to remember my patients, my future patients, that this is only going to benefit and help me as a future provider for my patients. One last thing, and you may think it's really hokey, but there's this thing called power posing, and my friends all laugh at me. But in college, one of my college roommates found out about power posing, and I would literally see her arms out over a bathroom stall where she was power posing. She'd go into the bathroom before an exam, and she would power pose, whether it would be like superhero, whatever it was. And there is actual research, don't ask me where, but there is actual research that says when you are anxious or feeling scared or lack confidence, your body posture, your body language will go into your core. You'll cross your legs, you'll hug yourself, unless you're cold. But when you're feeling confident, you'll stretch out more. You'll feel more at ease. And so while I was taking the exam, I actually practiced some power posing. I didn't just do a superhero move when I was in the exam room, but I did do some very broad, big stretches when I was feeling especially unconfident in a certain question or something that kind of was like, wait, this is crazy. I don't know the answer to this. And I started to panic. I thought, wait, I'm going to power pose. Are my legs uncrossed? I'm going to really think about this and take a minute. And it really helped me a lot to get back in a good headspace for the exam and not lose it where I jeopardized the rest of the exam. And so those are some things I just encourage you with. And just start telling yourself you can do this, because you can. You're putting in the time. You're putting in the effort. Be diligent and be faithful with your studying. It really will pay off. Good luck to everyone.